She mocked me in court, so I gave the judge a folder that ruined her entire future. I'm just a regular American guy, born and raised in Ohio, 39 years old, blue collar, worked my ass off for everything I had. I married my ex-wife, Laura, when we were both 28. We met at a friend's 4th of July party and hit it off instantly. She had this charm, all smiles and soft touches, and for a while, I thought I had hit the jackpot. I made good money working HVAC jobs, and she was a part-time yoga instructor who spent most of her time scrolling Instagram. Things were fine at first. We bought a house together, nothing fancy, but it was ours. I worked overtime to make ends meet while she followed her passion. I didn't mind, I loved her. I thought she loved me too. But as the years passed, I started noticing changes. She became distant, always on her phone, talking about finding herself, started dressing up more for her yoga clients. Then came the real punch to the gut. One day, I came home early from a job and heard noises upstairs, giggling, moaning, the whole damn cliche. I froze, heart pounding, and walked up to find her in our bed with some greasy, tatted-up prick named Chad. I swear that was his name. She didn't even look surprised, just looked at me and said, "We need to talk." "Talk? Lady, you're getting piped in the bed I paid for. You lost your right to talk." But I kept my cool. I didn't shout, didn't swing, just turned around, grabbed a suitcase, and left. That night, I booked a motel and called a lawyer. It was time to play smart. Now here's where it gets good. Laura thought she had the upper hand. She wanted the house. She wanted alimony. She even tried to keep my dog, Max. Yeah, she tried to take my damn dog. She moved Chad into my house like I was just some speed bump on her road to trashy freedom. But what Laura didn't know was that I had been quietly preparing. See, Ohio isn't exactly California. Adultery still plays a role in divorce proceedings here. My lawyer, bless his cold legal heart, told me to keep records. So I did. I kept texts, screenshots, even pulled security cam footage of her sneaking Chad in while I was busting my ass fixing air conditioners in 100-degree heat. The best part? I had installed that security cam with her dad just 6 months earlier when we talked about feeling safer. Oh, the irony. The court date was set. Laura strutted in like she was walking a runway, holding Chad's hand like he was some kind of trophy. They sat there snickering, whispering, even laughing out loud when the judge asked me to speak. I kept it short, calm, just handed over the stack of evidence my lawyer and I had compiled, texts, photos, videos. The judge raised an eyebrow and told Laura to sit up straight. But I wasn't done. Oh no. You see, Laura didn't realize that the house she was fighting for, it had been fully transferred into my name alone a year prior, thanks to refinancing I did with her signature while she was too busy taking selfies to read the fine print. And I had one last card to play, a big one. But that, dear readers, came during the judge's final statement. Let's just say their smug grins turned into absolute horror when the final surprise was dropped. The kind of horror that only hits when you realize you've played checkers while the other guy's been playing 4D chess. I swear, watching Laura and Chad whisper and laugh like they were the stars of a damn rom-com was almost comical. Almost. I kept my face blank, just like my lawyer advised. Let them laugh. Let them smirk. Their arrogance was going to be their undoing. The judge flipped through the folder of evidence we submitted, texts between Laura and Chad mocking me, screenshots of her telling Chad she was going to take me for everything I had, and time-stamped security cam footage showing them sneaking around my house like they were in some low-budget adult film. The judge looked up at Laura, then at me, and said in that deadpan judge voice, "This is compelling documentation of infidelity and misconduct." You could see Laura's smile wobble. Chad still had that dumb smirk on his face, but Laura, oh, she knew the tide was turning. Then came the part she really wasn't ready for. The judge asked if I had anything else to add before he made his ruling. I cleared my throat, leaned forward, and said, "Yes, Your Honor. Just one more thing." I pulled out a signed copy of the quitclaim deed. 1 year before any of this happened, I had refinanced the mortgage in my name only. She was too lazy to read what she was signing because she trusted me back then. And she signed it, no questions asked. I handed it to the judge. Chad actually laughed when he saw the paper. "You think that matters?" he scoffed. The judge peered over his glasses and said, "Actually, yes. This document legally places sole ownership of the marital property in Mr., my last name, S name. Mrs. Ex-wife's last name relinquished all claims." Silence. Laura turned ghost white. Her lips parted like she wanted to speak, but no sound came out. Chad leaned over to her, whispering something, and she snapped at him, "Shut up." But I wasn't done. "Your Honor," I said, "I'd also like to submit documentation regarding marital finances." I handed over credit card statements, bank withdrawals, and gift receipts. Thousands of dollars spent at hotels, restaurants, and even a weekend spa retreat, all while we were still legally married. All spent on Chad. That's when the judge sighed and leaned back. Given the overwhelming evidence of infidelity, misuse of marital funds, and the pre-existing property documents, he said, this court rules in favor of the petitioner. Me. And, he added, turning to Laura, you are not entitled to alimony or any share of the marital home. Furthermore, restitution may be considered for the misuse of marital assets. Boom. Laura blinked, then blinked again, and then, right there in that courtroom, she broke down sobbing. Not the quiet, tearful kind of crying. I mean ugly, snotty, shaking sobs. And Chad, Mr. Greaseball started swearing under his breath, pacing like he was about to explode. The bailiff told him to calm down or he'd be escorted out. Laura clung to his arm, but he shoved her off and whispered, loud enough for the whole courtroom to hear, I'm not going to jail for your dumbass mistakes. I almost felt bad for her. Almost. Instead, I just sat back and enjoyed the show. All those months of humiliation, pain, and betrayal, they were worth it for this moment. But the best part? It still hadn't happened yet. Because there was one last surprise I had been holding close to my chest. A legal bombshell that would destroy whatever scraps of her new life she had left. The courtroom was dead silent except for Laura's sobs and Chad's frantic pacing. My lawyer leaned toward me and whispered, Are you ready? I nodded. It was time. You see, I had kept one final card up my sleeve. Not just to win. I had already done that. But to crush them. Because betrayal like that, it doesn't deserve mercy. It deserves absolute, soul-crushing consequences. Your Honor, my lawyer said, standing up, we'd like to address one more matter that pertains to the court's attention, specifically a business-related asset held under the defendant's name. Laura sniffled, confused. What business? She whispered to Chad. That's when it hit her. See, during our marriage, Laura started a little side hustle, some influencer-style brand deal nonsense. It never made real money until she hooked up with Chad, who helped her turn it into a small online boutique. Clothing, yoga mats, detox teas, typical overpriced garbage targeted at insecure women on Instagram. But what she didn't know was that the LLC she registered. I helped file it. And when I did, I filed it as a joint marital business, with both our names on the legal documents. She never bothered to change the paperwork after she left me. She thought it didn't matter. Just like she thought I was too dumb to understand business law. She was wrong. According to the paperwork, my lawyer continued, handing over documents, Mr. / my last name, is still a 50% owner of the business, and per his rights, he is opting to dissolve the partnership and liquidate assets. Wait, what? Laura cried, her face twisted in panic. That's my company. That's mine. No. The judge corrected her, skimming the paperwork. It's a shared marital business entity. And given your conduct, you forfeited rights to any business assets derived from marital contributions. He's well within his rights. Everything is mine, she shrieked. I built that with Chad. The judge raised his hand. Ma'am, you are out of order. One more outburst, and you'll be removed from the courtroom. Laura was shaking now, makeup smeared, clinging to the last shreds of her influencer dreams. Her Instagram, her little website, her brand deals, all of it? I now had the power to shut it down. Liquidate. Freeze accounts. Sell off inventory. I wasn't even going to keep it. I was going to burn it to the ground. Chad, of course, saw the writing on the wall. He muttered something about not signing up for this and stormed out of the courtroom. Laura chased after him, heels clacking, still crying, begging him not to leave. The same woman who laughed at me when she thought I was weak. Now begging a loser named Chad not to abandon her as her world came crumbling down. I walked out of that courthouse not just free, but victorious. I kept the house. I kept the dog. I kept my dignity. And I took everything she tried to steal from me. And the cherry on top? 3 days later, her boutique site went dark. I sold the inventory to a competitor for pennies. Her social media sponsors dropped her once the drama leaked. Fun fact, I may have anonymously emailed a few of them screenshots of her shady behavior. By the end of the week, she had gone from yoga queen to complete internet ghost. You don't screw someone over and walk away laughing. You laugh last when the checkmate hits. And boy did I laugh hard. I appreciate you watching till the end. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more content.